Welcome to another episode of the Dynamic Thriving Podcast. I am your host, Mary Ann Pack, spiritual medium, oracle for the many, and joy advocate. And I guide you into all things life transformational as I interview these beautiful coaches, intuitive light workers, and service providers. And so today I have a special guest, my dear friend and colleague, Sandy Tomey, with me. Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Mary Ann. Thanks for having me.
I am so glad you're here. This is going to be a really fun conversation because Sandy is a love luminary, and we're going to talk about today illuminating the love that you are. Find out, how do we do that? So I just wanted to let you all know this podcast is in collaboration with Ladies Power Lunch. It's a free Facebook group that you are invited to join, ladies. We have one rule, and that is to intentionally support one another so that we all rise together. And you can visit them on Facebook under groups, Ladies Power Lunch, or visit their website, ladiespowerlunch.com. So we are going to jump right in, Sandy, with the tough question first.
Great,
I'm ready. Who is Sandy, and what good do you bring into the world?
Thanks, Mary Ann. In simple terms, I am a love, dating, and relationship coach. I'm called to guide heart-centered spiritual seekers to reconnect with their heart and soul, find out and really own the love that they are, be that love luminary, so that they can go out and have success in that dating and relationship world and attract their spiritual partner. They're entrepreneurs, they're intuitives, they're light workers, they're starting to own their gifts in the world, and they're single and searching. Maybe they've been divorced and feeling a little bit discouraged or devastated. They might also be widowed and wondering, can I really have a second amazing love in their life? And they're looking and they're ready, or they think they're ready, maybe even wondering if they're ready. And so I just love helping them discover the love that they are and navigate the dating world and the real world and find deep and lasting love.
Beautiful. We definitely need more of you out there in the world, teaching us to be our own love luminary. Yes. Because I would assume we have to be our own love luminary to be able to attract another love, another person who is illuminating their love so that the two lights can shine brightly together. So what problem do you solve with your clients? Like, what transformation when they work with you and they come to you either heartbroken, or maybe they're mending and healing and they think they're ready to move into a relationship? Mm-hmm. So how does that work with working with you?
Yeah. Well, first we discover really where they are on the sacred journey. How truly ready are they physically, emotionally, and spiritually to attract the love that they are? So that's one of the diagnostic tools that I have. I think that's a little bit different. We're going to find out how much baggage they're still carrying from the past, and put that away and energetically transform that into all the gifts and all the tools and all the it's like you using it as a springboard into their next life. And some clients may have done a little bit about work on that before they come to me and not need so much of that. Some still might need a little bit of that. So we'll do that first. We'll also highlight all their God-given gifts and talents and allow them to really, really own it, and talk about what they're looking for moving forward so that they really can attract that in their life. So it's a very personalized approach. I really do the one-on-ones because I really want to find out where that person is and their unique individual needs that each person needs, and create a very customized program specifically for them, energetically, physically, spiritually.
I love that you call it a sacred journey, because it is a sacred journey. Anytime we do that spiritual life transformational work. This is a sacred journey. Everything that we do in life is sacred, and to take it with purpose, and to design it rather than just hitting a brick wall and designing by default, or that default kind of energy. It's more the sourced spiritual energy that we're looking for. The other thing that you mentioned, do you actually like help clients? Because I would think sometimes maybe they've been so out of touch, or they came out of a poor relationship or whatever. Do they really know what they want in a relationship, or do you kind of help them dig that out and discover what is really meaningful to them?
Yeah, so it's a big part of it, Marianne. They come to me, especially after like a divorce, or maybe even a traumatic divorce. They definitely they come knowing what they don't want, and still having a lot of some of my clients really have been in a somewhat abusive narcissistic relationships, and they're doubting themselves and their confidence. And so a lot of that work is understanding, helping them use their voice and feel their feelings and their maybe their anger or all of that around it, and then reworking that from that place to go out and really have a different mindset and a soul shift on what they're worthy of and what they can accomplish. So those clients are in a different part of the journey. And as you grow on that, maybe you don't have that experience. Even the ones that, don't have maybe such a traumatic experience, we're still not really clear on what we know. We might think we know what we want, but when we can get that down on paper and have that conversation about it, bringing that into the dating world, and really being able to know off of your own plan what you're looking for, makes a complete difference. We're still allowing source to come in and guide people to you, but you're really getting that clarity that maybe, like you said at the beginning, we're not just throwing spaghetti against the wall and hoping it's sticking. It's really intentional, and it's really sourced.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that, the intentionality.
Yeah.
So what makes your approach unique to you? What makes it different from maybe another love coach or matchmaker or whatever, that's out there? Because I know there's always, we bring ourselves into our coaching.
Yeah.
So your approach has to be very unique to you.
Yeah. So I blend a very holistic approach to it. I started out as before I was a coach, as a body worker and an energy healer. Ooh. And so the energy of the body, the pranic healing, which is all about the chakras, and that kind of energy, like what is the energy that you are. So in my sessions with me, I always allow some time, after the coaching and the learning and the real practical parts of coaching, right, to dive deep into the energetics of my clients' system. It also helps us clear away whatever blocks they are, and find out some blocks maybe that we aren't really aware of, and clear those away. And it's raising their vibration of the planet. I believe all coaches and healers and helpers out there, we are here, especially at this time in this lifetime, to raise the vibration of the planet. And I do that. Absolutely. And I help people find the love of their life, and working with me. That's kind of the unique calling that, sources guided me to, at least for right now. Right. And so it's very practical, but it's also spiritual and energetic, and a law of attraction, and it's just holistic. You can't let go. You can't not look at all those aspects of it: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. So I really like to, have all of those in the program that I work on with my clients.
I love that. Yeah, because we're not compartmentalized beings. Right. I mean, we have to put all those pieces in place and call, I would think some of your clients probably feel very disjointed because they've lived a certain life, or maybe was very restricted in the way they expressed life. And yet they have all these other beautiful emotional and spiritual parts of them out here floating or boxed away for safety.
Mhm.
So you help them remember and
Remember,
put all them to back together.
yeah, remember who they are. Being the one, you're searching for the one. It's the being
Yes.
that you are, and that is incorporating, of course, all the light and the strengths that you have. For some of my clients, it's work to own their strengths,
Mhm.
and reevaluating or re-looking at their weaknesses, right, or what other people have told them there was their weaknesses, and seeing the gifts and the strengths and all of that, and what makes them special and unique. A lot of It's a lot of assessments. I use the Enneagram assessment. I use the energy leadership assessment. If they're open to it, I use the human design work that we
Mhm.
both know so well. You can just putting all of that together is just one of the many pieces, kind of foundational pieces that we do together, and that helps them know what their strengths are and their gifts from God. And when you're looking for a partner and finding a partner, that's all important in knowing who you are.
Oh, yes, I would think so. Anytime we can learn more about kind of how we're wired
Yes.
as our own unique selves,
Yeah.
that would help us know even in our, communication skills and our love languages and our,
Mhm.
that kind of thing. So I could definitely see how that bringing in those other Enneagram and the
Mhm.
human design and that kind of thing would be very, very helpful. You had talked about that some of your clients are like entrepreneurs or business people or um, creatives or intuitives or things like that. Do you see when they start becoming their own love luminary that actually it kind of covers and filters out into or ripples out into other areas of their life?
I do. And most of those people and clients, and myself included, we've done a lot of personal growth work,
Yes. Mhm.
and we value learning about ourselves and being open to all those growth edges. So working with someone like that really wants this holistic approach, and it's fun for me because I learn so much from them as
Mhm.
well. And really is that co-creative, but it's really fulfilling for me because I know as we're raising the consciousness of the planet to be instrumental in, of course, helping my clients find love that's going to be deeply joyous and fulfilling for them, but they're going to be healthier lives. And that strong, powerful partnership, that spiritual partnership, we that's going to help raise the consciousness of the planet as well, when those partners are out there leading together or shining their powerful relationship, healthy relationship,
Yes.
showing others and being a model for other people how to do that. The more we can model that, that's also going to raise the vibration of the planet. um, so many of my clients come in, and one of the questions I ask them is, what did you see modeled for you? How healthy were the relationships?
Wow.
And some of them, they didn't have very good ones. Some of them had pretty decent ones, but still struggled. I myself had really, I think, looking back, amazing models for relationship, and I still struggled. I still struggled because we're not taught this in school, and we don't. It's not intuitive. We just take what we've learned from our past. And so, if we could really get a lot of powerful couples out there, modeling good, healthy partnerships, and the families that they would create, and the ripples of love, wow, it's very powerful.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. And you were talking about that, so even just, I think this is why it's so much of a sacred journey, is because when you become your own love luminary and you tap into who you really are, And then you co-create with another soul who is a love luminary. And you're talking about the ripple effect. Just by living the example of our life, it gives hope to the other people that, oh my gosh, that's nothing like what I grew up with, or that's nothing like I'm experiencing right now or have experienced in the past. I want that. It's almost like it gives people permission to hope and to dream something else because they've never seen this before. And so, you know, it's actually, we're healing and raising the vibration of anyone our energy bumps into, to me.
Yep.
So
yeah, I agree. And we're all on the journey, right? I'm still on the journey. And you know, I think our mutual friend and teacher Darla or something, it's like transforming out loud.
yes.
We're all where we are, and just really being open and honest and transforming and authentic with our relationship, owning the good and the bad and the light and the dark and the struggles and how we've learned. That's real authenticity. It's a little bit harder in our personal relationships to you know, just a little bit of privacy involved with that. We always like to, you know, honor the privacy, but also being able to know those lessons and those tools and that learning and growth along the way. Everywhere people are on their journey is sacred. They're right where they need to be.
Yes,
They're right on time. If they're learning and they're growing, they're in the spot that's right for them.
Yes. Yes, because the thing is, where we are right now, everything that we've lived has created who we are, you know, and we're coming from here and moving forward. We're continuing to create. We've created this life and this experience, but we get to do something even more now if it's intentional.
Yes.
You know, and if we understand this is our sacred journey and that we are love luminaries, truly, we just have to crack open sometimes the little shell that we've encased ourselves in for protection, maybe because we've been in survival mode for quite a while, you know, to open that up to begin to thrive. I love that. So of course, I always say our mess is our message. And so I know there's always a reason behind being called into the work that we do. Right. So I know that you have a few messes, maybe. If you could share something of that to let us know, because we transform through things, and that's why it's so tender and so important for us to share. And it's a calling.
Yeah, sure. Be happy to share my messages all over the world. My messes. I do really feel that Source God had called me into this, but I didn't really realize it until I was about 40. So, you know, I thought I did have those great role models, you know, great religious upbringing. And yet when I was in my 20s, when everybody gets married and it's the thing to do, I was not really, looking back, I was not at that place where I was really liking my life at all. And so I chose from a place of fear instead of love for my first partner. And that was actually very much divinely guided, because that was the learning love where through those difficulties and the beauty of my children, and there was so much beautiful about that, that first marriage. I got to love myself. I got to see like all those things, all my darkness and all those things that I was hiding and all those things that I was not speaking and so afraid to speak or to ask for what I needed, or to even know myself in certain ways. So through that, I found coaching, you know, through the unraveling of that marriage. My therapist I had kind of left. Left. And I'm like, okay. And when I went searching, I found an amazing coach at that time. And she did energy healing and energy work. And I got to see it all put together. Like she modeled a possibility for me. And so like that was the roots of it. And it felt really, really good. And then the journey, continued, and I dated, so dating in my 30s, I've dated in my 20s, I've dated in my 40s and found love, and I've dated in my 50s and found love. So I really know the dating and the ins and outs of that and the intentionality of that. After my divorce, I manifested an amazing love through the tools that I had. And unfortunately, after just 8 years, he passed away. So I know the grief and the sadness and the what's going on, and can I really have two great loves in my life? And yes, you can. Yes, you're not too old. I tell this story. My sister has a mother-in-law that I think in her 50s, she lost she was widowed twice, and now she's like in her 80s, and it's her third marriage, and the hope and the belief and that positive just glow that she has, she just it's just amazing. So you're never too old. You're always at the right age. Love is always possible if you just are really grounded in who you are, what you want, and being able to share your luminescence with the world.
Beautiful.
It was a little bit roundabout, way of saying all that, but yeah.
Yeah, but again, there's always that heart transformation. I think is when it's truly a calling. We've gone through something. We've healed ourselves, and even if we're a little further down the road, we're still have healed. We are working on ourselves. Of course, we're all works in progress, but yeah. There's always those beautiful transformational stories. And of course, I love stories. So, yes. So how can people work with you? How can they find you?
Okay, so the best place is just to go right onto my website. It's my name, sandytomey.com. You can find a couple things there. You can take my relationship readiness quiz. That will give you a little information and insight on what are some of the keys and the tools that will help you what to work on to find deep and lasting love. If you're ready, I'm ready. Go ahead and hop on a phone call with me. We'll set up a love breakthrough session, complimentary. Go ahead and fill that out. That's also on the homepage of my website. We'll get you on the calendar. And all great relationships really start with a conversation. So I want to hear what's going on with you. I want to hear your struggles, your own personal sacred journey, what makes you you, and everything from there. We can decide what's available from there. I have all sorts of options to work with me.
Awesome. I love that. I love that you have those couple of things that the people can, even dip their toe in the water and see, does this feel right for me? Because I know there are probably some listeners out there that are feeling a twinge of yes, or maybe their inner beings a little louder than that and saying, yes, yes. So it's time for you to become your own love luminary. And
if you're curious, or you just don't know, or you want to have let's just have a conversation and find out. Sometimes people are ready, sometimes they're not. It all is okay, because you're all right where you need to be on the sacred journey. So
that's right. You're right. So I want to thank everybody for joining us for this episode of the Dynamic Thriving Podcast. Be sure that you comment, like, and subscribe to this podcast, as it helps my work go around the world and bring more joy. And as a joy advocate, I love to sprinkle that stuff everywhere. So help me do that. And as always, please visit my website, maryannpack.com. for all of our services, and the links that Sandy has given us today will be in the show notes for your convenience. And be sure and contact Sandy. If you think that you are ready for the love of your life, or finding your soul partnership, your spiritual partner, be sure and contact Sandy. She's precious to work with. I love her, so I know you will too. Thank you, Sandy. Do you have any delicious parting words of wisdom for our love luminaries to be?
Thank you, Marianne. Yes. The love you seek is seeking you. So You don't have to settle. Go ahead and make the call, do what you want to do, and take the next step on your sacred journey. You'll be happy that you did.
Absolutely. So perfect. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you, Mary Ann. My pleasure. Blessings, everyone.
And remember, everyone, you are joy looking for a way to express.